Hi, I just thought I would give you an update. I'm about inside of 2 weeks for my procedure for my leg amputation. For those of you who haven't been with me before, this is the brief. I have had a disability for 13 and a half years where I lost the use of my leg after an accident as an athletic trainer, and that is a sports medicine individual, and I was covering a football game and had an accident where I injured my leg and hip and have been on crutches for 13 and a half years and have had over 8 surgical procedures in order to try and restore function to my leg, along with other therapies and medical intervention to try to restore its function. I have recently made a decision to amputate my leg in an effort to regain function of the rest of my body, because my not having the use of my right lower extremity is causing many other orthopedic problems in my body, and causes me pain, a significant amount of pain, nerve pain and orthopedic pain. So that's the brief. I'm inside of 2 weeks, and although I have tried to keep the date private, more and more people are finding out of the date, and that's okay. But with that, people are asking, how I'm feeling and what they can do, and I don't know, it's well received. I'm not saying it in a negative way, but it also is kind of like inching up my anxiety, just because I'm thinking about it, more and more every day. And I would naturally, even if people weren't asking, because I'm trying to prepare for my stay in the hospital, what to take as far as wearing. I'll be in the hospital for a minimum of 5 days, and then I'm going to be in New York City. That's where I'm having it done for an additional week of time due to follow-up care and preparing, because I have to have food and those sort of things, and my daughter's coming to help care for me, and so what groceries need to be purchased, getting them delivered, and all that, so there's a lot to prepare for, being away for that time period. And I have a son who lives with me full time, and he is going to be staying with family and making sure that everything is squared away with that. And we have dogs, and so just all the care, just trying to get everything lined up so that everything kind of goes off without a hitch. And then thinking about what I'm going to walk through, and thankful, prayerful that the Lord continues to walk with me and gives me a certain level of peace. But I don't know that there's anybody that can go through or get ready to go through this process that doesn't get anxious. So I'm just here to share, that I'm getting more and more anxious, and just nervous about what I'm going to go through. And being a medical professional, knowing, what that's probably going to look like, what it's going to be like physically, what it's going to be like mentally, when I wake up and not have my leg, how I'm going to transition in that, how I'm going to manage, with the pain. I can say from my prior procedures at this hospital, they take pain management very seriously, and usually, they have it under control. And, they work very well with the patients in pain control. Not to say that there won't be, some trial and error with that. And, when you take pain medicine, you certainly have side effects, and to minimize the side effects but maximize the benefit, in figuring that out. And then, what will be prescribed for me outside the hospital. And so I don't know if you're aware, but you're on a certain course when you're in the hospital, IV normally driven, and then you transition to oral to make sure that it controls your pain. So when you're discharged, you are under good pain management control. So there's a transition in the hospital from very acute pain to transitioning to post-operative home care pain. And there's just a process with that, and with that process is pain. It's because you're transitioning what works and what doesn't work. So just a lot of things, a lot of moving pieces, getting to the city, getting home from the city, what that looks like, how to manage that, my ability to transfer from one location to the other. And so I'm trying to, I've been planning for quite some time how to do that. And right now, I've got there and coming back to my state kind of sewed up. So I'm going by train, which is how I always go to New York City, or how I've gone the last probably, I'd say 8 years. I'm going by train, and then I'm coming back by train to the northern part of our state, and then there's an hour-ish drive from the train station to my home. And I think I have that second leg figured out in case I cannot sit well. I think that I have a van that is going to be able to transport me back home. I have not addressed the home situation with where I'm going to sleep, if I'm going to be upstairs or downstairs. And I do have my mom still able and willing to help if I'm going to be downstairs. If I can transition to my bedroom, which is on the second floor. I'm praying that I can, when I come home after, it'll be 2 weeks from my procedure, that I'll be able to climb stairs enough to go home and be in my room. That's my prayer, because I have a hospital bed-like thing in my bedroom. It's not a hospital bed, but it functions just like one. So I'm hopeful that I can get to that point, because I think that being in my bed, in my room, will be good. Not just physically, but mentally. That'll be able to get some normalcy back in my life when I am home. Obviously, I know that there's going to be lots of adjustments and challenges to my new situation, because I've been in this situation with crutches and a brace for 13 and a half years. So not having a brace and not having a leg, will be a hurdle. And then dealing with the public and people's perception of me. And my children certainly recognize when people are looking at me, maybe staring at me because of the brace that I wear and, walking on crutches. It doesn't bother me at all. Not at all in my current situation. I don't pay any bit of attention to anyone and that they're staring or looking, or it doesn't bother me at all. But not having a leg and people staring and looking, and I don't know how I'll respond to that. Maybe the Lord will give me peace about that as well, and I won't have any concern. I'm praying that I'll transition to that okay. But people's minds are inquisitive, on what happened and why, and so I'm sure, little kids are usually the ones that ask their parent or their, the person they're with, what happened? What's wrong with her leg? And so, I'm aware of that, and usually I engage with them to say, I hurt my leg, and, I talk to them to kind of ease them and to try and rest their mind of question. And so, because I'm a teacher and an athletic trainer, that's my typical way about doing it. Just educate and then move on. So I know there's going to be some of that, maybe a lot of that. But how I would deal with it mentally, and then the whole clothing issue. Like, I'm not going to have a leg, so am I going to wear shorts? Am I going to wear skirts? Am I going to wear skirts? Am I going to roll my pant leg? Am I going to cut the pant leg off? Like, those are all questions that remain to be seen for me, and what my comfort level is with my situation. So this is just information leading up to and things that are going through my mind, and some things I can prepare for and other things I cannot. Here's another sidebar piece, and that is I've been working really hard to be as strong and as fit as I can, and because we're inside of 2 weeks, I've had to stop all the things that I've been taking to help with my journey to get stronger and more fit. So I was taking a multivitamin, fish oil. I haven't had to stop the protein that I take because it's just protein. Excuse me. But I was doing this thing called OptiGreens, which is, where it's a supplement that you take that fills in the gap with any greens that you aren't getting in your natural diet. So I've had to stop that, and that's caused me a little like, whoo, I've worked so hard to get where I'm at, and I know I'm going to have a journey after the procedure, and when will I be able to start those back up? Will I gain weight? Will I lose weight? Obviously, I'm going to lose some weight because I'm not going to have a leg, but I'm talking about the rest of my body and my percent body fat for what I will have. What will I have lost? Am I going to lose muscle tone? Certainly, because I'm not going to be able to work out probably before I start to lose some of that. But how much will I lose? So I'm just praying that I don't lose too much, like starting over. But I feel very confident in my physical being, what I've been able to attain and where I'm at. And I encourage you, if you are able in any way, shape, or form to improve your overall health, to do so before any procedure, if at all possible, to be in the best physical shape you can be in the best health that you can be in leading up to a procedure. Drinking, water, 100 ounces of water is a big thing to accomplish, but it can be done. Pretty much cut out everything else as far as drinking outside of coffee. So I do drink coffee and put protein in that, and then I do drink milk and I put protein in that. So water, milk, and coffee, and occasionally, I'll have some iced tea. I'm not completely avoiding myself from things that I enjoy, because you'd never be able to sustain that. But it is important to be in the best shape that you can be in before a major operation. Excuse me. So, just kind of want to give you an update of my walk through this and where I'm at inside of 2 weeks. So I will continue to make videos as I'm prompted. I'm in this place that I was at the last video, actually facing the opposite direction, but I'm on a waterway, and there's a beautiful sailboat here, and some of the buildings on the property in the background. So I'm just very thankful to live in such a beautiful area and have the Lord walking with me in this journey, and to be able to talk and share with you where I'm at and what you go through mentally leading up to big life change. So I'm holding on to faith, holding on to hope, and just trying to prepare as best I can. So anyway, that's where I'm at, and I just thought I'd give you an update. All right, until the next time, have a blessed day.